You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. As we're getting closer and closer and moving throughout December, I've got another holiday review for y'all. Got a review for this movie called Best Christmas Ever, which is directed by Mary Lambert. Mary Lambert has directed a few things, including Pet Cemetery. Really? Pet Cemetery? Okay. Pet Cemetery, Halloween Town 2, Calibur's Revenge. By the way, those Halloween Town movies are much better than they're given credit for. She also went ahead and worked on The Goldbergs, worked on Arrow. Let's see what else. Urban Legends Bloody Mary. I totally forgot there was a sequel to Urban Legends. But this movie stars Heather Graham, who of course you know from Boogie Nights, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, Say It Ain't So. I think that's that movie with her and Chris Klein. The Hangover. Brandy Norwood, who of course you know is one of the best singers in the last 40 years. Brandy is fucking incredible. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Roger the Hammerstein's Cinderella, of course. So, okay. This was one of those movies where, as I was putting stuff together, and I am going to end up going over 12 reviews for holiday stuff before the end of the month. I'll probably hit 14 or 15, but I digress. So, I was just kind of flipping through Netflix, seeing, like, what could I review that looks interesting? And this movie, first off, this movie is short as shit. It is 80 minutes. It is barely a film, which is kind of incredible that they're still making shit like this in 2023. But this was, so to go very old school, and I don't even know if this review is actually up on the channel now that I think about it, but in the early days of The Real Pineapple, Colin, shout out Colin and Scott, shout out both of y'all, love you. The three of us reviewed a movie called Mom's Night Out. And I remember that movie just being such ass and being really irritating and really no emotional value or attachment or really anything about the movie that made me go, oh, I on principle have to give this a go fuck yourself. I don't even know if you're doing the go fuck yourself rating back in the day, but it's been a while. But I have to give this movie some credit in the sense of Brandy and Heather Graham. They are way more game for this than I ever thought anyone would be for this movie. So the very paper thin premise is Heather Graham plays Charlotte Sanders, Jason Biggs plays Rob Sanders. And you know what? Let me get my Jason Biggs rant out of the way. I've never liked Jason Biggs. I I think he's terrible in pretty much everything he's in. He's always playing the I'm a sweet Jewish boy, but I get taken advantage of. Does that make me sweet? And it's like, no, it makes you a fucking douchebag who deserves every bad thing that happens to him. I think about that movie Loser with him and Mina Savari and Greg Kinnear, and I remember just sitting there going, dude, you need to stand up for yourself. How are you just this? Oh my god, I can't stand Jason Biggs. And then, you know, you see him something like Over Her Dead Body and My Best Friend's Girl. Like, he's always playing that type of dude. Like, it's so agitating to me. And this is where I have to eat some crow, because while I can't stand Jason Biggs, as the the rant just showed you, he's good in this. I couldn't believe it. His shtick worked for the first time maybe ever, because even the American Pie movies, even me at my less cynical, less judgy, 12, 13-year-old Hunter, even then I was like, this guy fucked a pie. Like, what the? Like, not the kink shame, but that's fucking weird that you're fucking a pie in your parents' house. You didn't even go up in the. Oh my god, he's such a weird. Anyways, there's a lot that has aged poorly about American Pie, but I digress. But Jason Biggs, his character, Rob, he just loves his wife. Now, granted, if I was married to Heather Graham, I'd love her too. But you can really feel that he genuinely cares about Charlotte in a way that sometimes doesn't feel reciprocated. And that was something I was actually like, oh, this is a very that's an avenue that you could actually go down. And to the credit of the film, it does. So Charlotte and Jackie went to school together back in college, and they basically they had a falling out essentially. And so Charlotte and Rob's son, Grant, pardon me, who's played by Wyatt Hunt, he kind of gives me I'm trying to think of the actor's name, but he could definitely be in like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. I actually think the kid has some natural charisma to him. I think he would be very easy to have him being like something like the kid that would be king, like something in that vein. I think the kid's actually pretty talented given the material he's working with here. But he has this stuffed monkey, which is quite terrifying. They call him like Mr. Monkey Pants or something. Doesn't fucking matter. But making an offhand comment, Charlotte and Rob were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to my sister's for the holidays, yay. And the kids are kind of like, well, all right, you don't have a fucking say, so sure. And basically Jackie and her husband, Valentino, who's played by Matt Cedino, who I'll get to in a second, they do they do one of those holiday newsletters every year where they're like, hey, our daughter Dora, is it Dora? No, it's not Dora. Our daughter, Beatrix, that's her name. Our daughter Beatrix, she's going to Harvard. She's 10 years old, and this little girl got accepted into Harvard. Like, what the fuck? Really? And so there's that whole component. Like, hey, she's going to Harvard, and our son Daniel, he is off in the rainforest making this machine that's going to go ahead and filter water and stop a international conflict. And so they seem like the perfect family. And Charlotte and Rob, they're struggling to make ends meet. And so there's your conflict right there. The fact that Charlotte feels not slighted, but she feels like she should be more successful. And so Grant kind of makes the comment like, hey, I would love to see Aunt Jackie. And Charlotte makes this flippant offhand comment going, oh yeah, there's nothing that would make me happier than to randomly just show up on Jackie's doorstep. And I'll be real, this is where I just kind of laugh, because I went, kids take everything literal, especially that age. He has a talking monkey that's like his, I mean, the monkey doesn't talk, good God. But he has a monkey that he talks to that's a stuffed animal. Like, this kid's gonna take you at face value. And so when Charlotte makes that comment of, oh yeah, there's nothing I'd like more than to show up at her doorstep, the kid, Grant, even though he blames it on the monkey, which I'll admit did get a chuckle out of me, he goes ahead and punches that address into the GPS, and voila, they show up on Jackie's doorstep unannounced. Oh no. And here's the thing, the giant flaw in that is there just, I'm assuming you've been to your sister's before. I can't remember if they say she's moved, but like wouldn't you like check that at some point when you go, like, is this the right address? Oh, it's not? No, that's weird. It's very odd. It's a very kind of weird thing that they don't do that, but I digress. So there's that whole component. And so they end up getting snowed in at Jackie and Valentino's, and so they actually have to go ahead and kind of talk their shit out, and it's about them being, mending their fences and becoming friends again, yada, yada, yada. So, okay. Valentino, who I just talked about, who plays Brandy's husband, Very handsome guy. I mean, very good looking dude. He unfortunately recently has been on Tyler Perry's Ruthless, which is unfortunate. I mean, I'm happy you're getting work, dude, but Tyler Perry, ugh. But he's a very charming dude, and that is something that I actually liked watching Brandy and him work off of each other. I wish it was in a better movie, but they do work off each other really well, and it seems there's never a oh god they have to have a conflict in their marriage, which I actually appreciate. They're actually very supportive of each other. Brandy had this business that she was managing and founded. She was able to go ahead and sell that so she could retire early. Valentino is directing like the Christmas pageant, but he has his own shit going on. Like they seem like very much like a power couple in a healthy way, in the way that they support each other, which I was like, that's pretty cool to see actually for a couple made up of two people of color to go ahead and support each other in that way. It's it gets jarring because Charlotte is just so obsessed with the fact that Jackie and Valentino's marriage and life seems so perfect that she has to find a flaw. And it's really interesting because Charlotte's actually kind of the villain in this movie, where there are points where she's sneaking around, and it's very kind of Meet the Parents in that way, where you just go, all right, this couple has a great thing going on. Why are you trying to poke holes in it? And one thing that I really, really liked is Madison Sky Validum is what I'm gonna go with, who plays Jackie and Valentino's daughter, Beatrix, the one who's gonna be going to Harvard. She has very much that I know how smart I am energy, but she never comes across like an asshole. She just comes across as very informed, which I think is a very hard line to walk when you have a kid actor, or especially this kid type, in one of these movies. But I think it actually does work shockingly well with her. There's a point where Charlotte destroys something because she's snooping that I straight up went, oh man, I would have kicked her out. I I straight up would have kicked her ass out. Fuck the snow. I don't care. It's pretty cruel in that moment. And there are some emotional beats, which again, I can't believe I'm saying this, that I actually went, huh, that actually works. There's this point where Jason Biggs and Heather Graham sit down, and he just looks at her and goes, look, you're not happy with, with our marriage. Like, I'm trying to be there with you. I'm trying to ride, I'm trying to ride with you. I'm definitely paraphrasing. Jason Biggs does not say ride with you in this, but he really is saying, look, I'm here. I'm present. I want to support you as much as I possibly can. And it comes across as earnest in a way that I don't think Jason Biggs, his type, has come across in a long time, which was probably the biggest surprise I could give this movie. There is a thing involving a character that's mentioned as far as what happened with them that, I mean, you'll see the shit coming from space. Like, it's very much this wasn't mentioned. Oh, of course, this is how it comes back at the end. But there is a symbol as far as the Christmas pageant, as far as how they kind of use the North Star. There's a connection to that I actually went, that's surprisingly sweet. I was actually kind of caught off guard by how genuinely sweet that came across, and it was actually pretty impressive. So credit where it's due. I'll definitely give the movie that. And then as far as other stuff, I mean, did I laugh? Not really. There's a subplot with Grant and Beatrix where she's trying to prove that Santa is real, and they end up going to like the Santa's workshop, and and Grant uses the monkey and some sap to take Santa's beard off, and like this kid starts screaming, and like there's some definite hijinks along the way. There's a point where they flat out, I mean, they don't say the word, but Jackie and Valentino are straight up fucking, and Charlotte and Rob are next door, and it leads to this pretty hilariously awkward moment the next morning at breakfast where Jackie and Valentino are basically saying, when we get down, we get down. And Charlotte and Rob are kind of like, oh, like sometimes we get down. It might have been a while, but we sometimes kind of sort of get it's and it's played for cringe humor, and it actually does kind of work. Go figure. This really is a nothing movie, but it's a nothing movie that had some emotional beats that I was kind of surprised that even exist in this fucking movie. So I got to give some credit for that. It's written by Todd Calgi Gallicano is what I'm gonna go with, this is their first writing credit. But then Charles Shire, I was like, I know that name. Listen to this filmography. Private Benjamin, producer on that. Smokey and the fucking Bandit. Father of the Bride, directed and wrote that. Father of the Bride Part 2, directed that. The 98 Parent Trap remake, they wrote and produced that. So, Alfie, it's not the movie with, that's the Jude Law one, right? Yeah, that is that one. So, I mean, they've done shit, definitely. The Noel Diary, that's the one oh, that's another like Netflix type Christmas movie. So, I mean, some actual writing credits on this shit. But I was surprised by this. It's by no means am I saying like seek this out or anything like that. But if you came across this, you'd go, 80 minutes. That was fine. It's a harmless Christmas movie, but it in no way actually like really agitated me, like made me angry, which I sometimes expect these to do, and it didn't. So, I mean, credit there, I guess. But I'm gonna give this a solid. I mean, man, like I was surprised by it, but like a C minus is kind of fair on this because again, it's not something you need to go out and seek out. I don't even think they actually mention what the conflict was between between Charlotte and her friend. I'm told, guy, I already forgot Brandy's character's name. Charlotte and Jackie. There we go. I don't think they even mention what the conflict was outside of maybe potential jealousy. So take that as you will. But this was fine. This was fine. It was 80 minutes flew by, and there is, oh, you know what? Yeah, C minus, because I just remembered something. There's a point. There's one thing that irritated the shit out of me in this, and white people don't do this shit. There's a point where the daughter, I actually forgot to mention there's a daughter in this. That shows you how much I was paying attention. Abby Villasmil is what I'll go with. She plays Dora. Dora doesn't really have a subplot in this. She's kind of just there, but there's this point where she goes, she's like, oh my gosh, we have to tell Santa that we're not going to be at the house. Like, Santa won't know. And Charlotte, without missing beat, goes like, oh no, Santa will know. Me and Santa are tight, yo. And I just went, oh my God, like, fuck, don't do the shit like that. Like, a white person trying to talk straight just always makes me want to curl up in a ball and just go like, please don't fucking talk. So so that moment really did piss me off, but it's done early on in the movie, like first 10 minutes, and they kind of get out of the way. So I will give them that. But yeah, C minus. It's fine. You don't need to see this, but it's fine. So best Christmas ever. Have you seen it? Don't. What did you think about it? If you did, let us know in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps us out. You can find us on YouTube at The Real Pineapple. Just go ahead and search The Real Pineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. And we'll go ahead and pop up there for you. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Find me on Blue Sky at realpineapple.bsky.social. Got a question for the show? Got a review request? Just want to say hi? Shoot me an email at jhunter@therealpineapple.com. Follow me on TikTok at jhunterrealpineapple. Follow me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. And subscribe to the show on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/jhunterrealpineapple. I'm going to be hopping on there here in the next couple weeks. I might be on there for Christmas. On Christmas Day. I haven't decided that yet, but I'll keep y'all updated. Subscribe so you know when I'm be going live. And then you can find the podcast pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and please like, share, rate, subscribe. It definitely helps us out. Definitely rate us too. But you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, Samsung Podcasts, and Anchor, to name a few, at The Real Pineapple. And you can find all of the links, all of our socials at linktr.ee/jhunterrealpineapple. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We're going to have reviews coming up for Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, Die Hard, and some more holiday stuff as we proceed through December. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your support. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Get your COVID booster if you haven't gotten it yet. Get your COVID shot if you haven't gotten it yet. Get your flu shot if you haven't gotten it yet. It's fucking cold. It's like 30 degrees here in Nevada right now. So I had to go outside earlier. So it's cold. Please stay comfy. And don't forget, as always, to keep it real.